The Inshave, or also known as a Scorp, is one of our signature tools. This tool is designed primarily for sculpting the wooden Windsor chair seats or stick chair seats. Originally, these were used for a variety of different shallow hollowing operations, including smoothing the insides of barrels. Our design, the turned handle design and the basic setup, comes from an original antique that I've got in my collection, which I picked up at an antique tool store a number of years ago. We spent almost a year researching and developing the process to get the complex geometry and curvatures on that original that I found so appealing, and it worked so well. I'll point out a couple of the features here. The sweep or curvature of the cutting edge is an ellipse. The center section is a much shallower curvature than the two sides where it aggressively turns up. What this does is gives you a really good combination of fast hollowing qualities as well as the ability to get a fairly smooth surface from the middle. You can also turn it up on the edge to get a tighter radius, and then in the center for a much smoother, flatter radius. Another feature of this tool is the angle of the handles. This slightly splayed out gives a really comfortable grip. It also allows you to make a skewing, slicing motion quite easily. So if you'll grab the tool with one hand and pull, you automatically have this slicing motion. The other hand is steering. So think about it as power and steering, and then you can switch the other direction. It's a subtle feature, but it really makes a difference in my opinion. Another feature is that the angle of the blade is canted in such a way that it's out forward of the handle. And so the cutting edge follows the handles, follows behind, and it tracks along quite nicely because of that. This Inshave or Scorp is designed to cut either across the grain or with the grain. And it does a good job of both roughing and finishing cuts. We'll start with some roughing cuts, working cross grain here in this section of our chair seat. Now I'm going to work this section between the saddle of the seat where it joins the spindle deck, this nice transition from flat to sculpted. And you can see my technique for getting right up to that line very smoothly. You can see the tremendous control I have with this tool. Where a lot of chair makers will switch to a travisher to finish up the smoothing, I'll often finish just with this Inshave. Both the control you have with this tool as well as that flat or elliptical center section leaves a very subtly textured finish that's not unpleasant at all. I actually prefer a slightly textured finish on most of my chair seats. And at this point, I would turn the seat and we'll come back from that way, working with the grain to eliminate this tear out. The edge bevel on our Inshaves is quite thin, varying slightly from batch to batch, somewhere between 20 and 25 degrees, which is rather thin. Cuts wonderfully, particularly in pine. Does a good job also in hardwoods. One thing I would recommend you not do is use it to trim the protruding ends of the leg tenons where it comes through the seat. That job is best performed by a heavy gouge or chisel and a mallet. Think of this tool as a thoroughbred racehorse designed for efficiently and quickly getting through the seat carving operations. How do you maintain and take care of that edge? Well, the first thing I recommend is to strop early and often. I use a couple of different leather strops that we've made. This is a flat strop, just a flat board with a piece of rough out leather on it with some stropping compound. And I'll hold the tool like this and strop the blade, moving the strop toward, or away from rather, the cutting edge like so. If I was to move the strop this way, the cutting edge would cut into and damage my strop. I want to hold that leather flat on the bevel, as flat as I possibly can, and work my way all the way around. Then for the inside, I made a strop from a dowel, just took a wooden dowel, again wrapped rough out leather around it, glued it, put polishing compound on it, and now I can come in from the inside. And I'll work this a combination of pulling it away from the edge and rolling it around. If you take care of your Inshave and you don't hit ingrain oak or nails or grit or things like that, a regular stropping is all you will need for a long time. When you need to do a more thorough sharpening beyond what the strop is capable of, this is where I switch to a series of hand stones of different grits. I'll start by taking a Sharpie marker and blackening the bevel. What this does is it will show me exactly where I've sharpened and where I haven't. Now I'll take the stone, I'll put the stone in my right hand since I'm right-handed, the tool in my left hand. I'll lock my elbows at my sides, and then I'll put the tool on the stone on the bevel of the tool and work in a circular motion. I'll work the entire edge this way, slowly and carefully, and then I'll look and I'll see where I still have some Sharpie mark. This shows where I need to continue sharpening. Once all that Sharpie is eliminated, I'll reapply it and go to my next finer stone. Do this until it's ready for stropping, where we'll finish. Now, if you need a more aggressive sharpening than the hand stones can give, what you'll have to do is build an auxiliary table on the work support of your grinder, on which you'll set the back. This is a ground and flattened back of the Inshave, and tilt it at an angle to present the cutting edge to the grindstone at the correct angle, and then slowly and carefully grind that, keeping it cool with water and working very slowly.